we'll get started. So we'll start with the basic infrastructure we have kept ready. I mean, we have two delivery
Uh-huh.
controllers, SQL servers, everything is ready. So client also we have deployed it. Now we will create the
Okay.
mission catalog and delivery group.
Okay.
I've connected to our primary delivery controller. So we'll go and get create a mission catalog. So this
Mm-hmm.
is where we are adding our client to our site because
Mm-hmm.
we've just configured the VDA agent. It's not part of any site. So with the mission
Okay.
catalog, we'll integrate our client into our Citrix site or Citrix form. Okay.
Okay.
So once you click on mission catalog, click on create catalog. So this is the introduction and click on
Mm-hmm.
next. So ours is multi-OS operating system because we have installed a server. If we have deployed any Windows 10 or Windows 11, then it will be a single operating system and remote PC where we can add it physical servers. Okay, so right now we
Oh,
will be choosing the first option since this is a multi-operating system, Windows Server 2022. So click on next. So as you can see, since we don't have any hypervisor, we are not able to choose the first option because with the hypervisor,
mm-hmm.
we will be able to power manage our machine. That means we can shut down, force shutdown, all those options we can do it via the Studio Console. But since
Uh-huh.
this is we are directly adding it without a hypervisor, so those power management option will not be enabled. So we'll not be able to power up the machine from Studio Console. Okay,
Okay.
and Citrix MCS will not help, and Citrix PVS we can choose it, but again without the hypervisor it will not sync up properly. So that's the reason both these options is not by default enabled. We are it's went directly to another service or technology because it doesn't have any underlying controllers, I mean hypervisor hosting connection is in place. So it directly went to this
Okay.
option, and this is fine for us because since this is a physical machine, what we consider as. So click on next.
Mm-hmm.
So now we can add the computers here. Let me check on the host name. Okay, it got resolved. So you could see the status is green because the version of VDA which we have installed is compatible with the version which we are having on the studio controller. You can use the
Mm-hmm.
older version also. It's not like mandate like you need to have the same version. You can use the older version also. You could see the function level. It supports from 7.9. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but ideally it's better to have a sync up with what version we are using in the studio. For example, here it's 2203 or 2204. Then
Mm-hmm.
better you maintain the same video version on the rest of the MCS image, PVS image, or physical servers. The reason is it'll support the policies which we are going to deploy it
Okay.
from the Citrix console. Okay, you can have the older version. It'll work. It'll not have any impact. But the upgraded policies, whatever policies which comes with the newer version, it will not get applied to the older version, or it will not be suited up. So ideally you'll have the same version across your environment, but it's fine if you have the older version also, it will work.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll give a name. And this is based on your requirement. The description, it's
Mm-hmm.
this is for our administrator understanding. This is for the console where it shows up on the console. Okay, this is fine.
Okay.
And with machine catalog, keep in mind you should have the same operating systems. You cannot club two different operating systems in a single catalog. That will not be possible. If it's
Mm-hmm.
Windows 2016, then the catalog should be having all the servers as Windows 2016. Not have 2016, 2202, or 2019 in the same catalog. That will not be possible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now this is added. Now we'll create the delivery group. So by default, we have only one machine catalog, and it had showed up on the list, and the list of servers which we added, that is only one. So click on next, this is fine. And out of the machine catalog, if you need to select, for example, if you have 100 servers, not 100 servers need to be deployed onto the DG, then you can choose the amount of servers which is required. So right now we have only one, so we'll go ahead with the one. So this is allow any authenticated users to use this delivery group, that it'll allow all the users on the uh, delivery group, or you can restrict to a specific users
Mm-hmm.
or specific AD groups. So we'll
Mm-hmm.
so ideally this will be the better option to have more restriction, because not to allow all the users to have access to all the environment or all the desktops or all the applications. So restrict each business unit to their respective application or desktop. So this would be the ideal option to choose. But as an administrator perspective, you will be given access to all the desktops and application, because if in case any issues comes in, or user report an issue like the application is not launching, desktop is not launching, so in that scenario you have to test the application from your end first, then go for further troubleshooting. So as an administrator, it's better you have access to all the environment, I mean desktop or applications in your environment for troubleshooting.
Mm-hmm.
So the next option is to add the applications. So if you click on it, there are few options that you can choose. One is from the start menu, like the list of
Mm-hmm.
application which is installed on the server, which is getting listed on the start menu. You can choose it from here. You can choose manually, or app package, or application groups you can create. If you choose from the start menu, it will take up time, because it has to need to load all the applications which are there on the server start menu. So it will take time. So in order to speed up this process, you can choose this option manually. So here you have to give your executable file location. If you have any command line argument, you can give it here, and the working directory from where the executable is available. Okay, so to have a simpler way, we'll have so if you want to publish command prompt, go to open file location. So these are the target folder path, start in location path for a shortcut that is available. Okay, now we'll try to install few applications.
These applications are coming from um, the the machine catalog server, or uh,
I mean, this one.
yeah, the one we are publishing this from
Yeah,
the
this is
start
from the
main.
mission catalog. This is from the mission catalog
Okay.
because yeah. mm. So I've copied three installations.
Mm.
So we'll install it. So the application launches fine. Similarly, we'll
So the
install.
process we didn't capture an image yet. That one is coming
No,
later,
no, no,
right?
no, no. Yeah, that is for MCS or PVS. Again,
Okay.
for MCS or PVS, again we have to open up the golden image or the primary server
Oh.
which we use capture for capture it. We have to
Mm-hmm.
follow the same process. We have to manually deploy the applications. If it's natively you need to install, or if an API package, that's completely a different story. But again, for native installation, you have to open up the golden image, install how we do it for a manual server or a physical server. Once that is done,
Mm-hmm.
seal the image. For each environment, you will have a different sealing script in place to The script, what it does is like to remove some registry entries which is not required, some cache, some tweaks to your Office applications, to your Windows Defender, or if you have Splunk or any other applications where you need to have some modifications for your VDI environment, those you'll run it as a script. It'll clear up all these entries, register entries, cache, whatever it is. Once that is done, you have to shut down the server and then create the version on previous or create a template on the MCS. Okay,
Hmm.
so each will have some certain scripting to seal it, or some environment for MCS they may not use any scripting. So ideally, this is how it will be. So you open up your golden image, deploy your application, do your patching, do your upgrade, whatever it is. Once that is done, do a couple of restart because certain application requires a reset. For example, patching, Windows patching. Once you deploy the applications or a patch, you need to do a system restart. Otherwise, if you don't do it, you will get a pop-up on the targeted machine like the system need to be restarted, system need to be restarted, because whatever state you're creating on your golden image, that's how it will get replicated to your target
Hmm.
device. So you do a system restart, complete everything, you don't find any system restart pop-up, that's fine. And then if you need to have any tweaks, do it. Once everything is completed, the last stage you have to run the sealing script, seal the image, then shut down. Once the shutdown is done
Hmm.
on MCS, create the template, and once the template is ready, apply to your uh, catalog group. In previous, once the image is ready, once the VDisk is ready, update the version from maintenance to prod or test, then assign it to the respective target device.
Hmm.
Okay. So ideally, in most of the environment, once you've done the update, do a testing on a test server. If it's an application upgrade, get a sign off from your respective business team that the application works fine without an issue, and all the other components which they normally use in day-to-day environment works fine on the Citrix system. Then get a sign off, then move it to prod with a change request. Similarly, it is
Hmm.
for your PVS. Get the sign off on the test servers. Once everything is fine, update. Move the test version to prod. Once it's done, apply it to the servers. Over the weekend
Hmm.
or the scheduled reboot, the target device will get the latest image.
Hmm.
Similarly for MZ also, the servers need to be restarted to get the latest update. Okay, so uh, the easy way to deploy your, publish your application for like for this one, it has all the required information. Like you go to your DL. So here I would not suggest to go with the start menu. The reason is right now ours is a base image where we don't have much of an application. But if you have 50s or hundreds of application, this time will take longer to load up all the application from the start menu. And some application might be not creating any shortcut on the start menu. So if it's a simple direct application like Notepad CMD, you can take it up from here. Otherwise, I would suggest to go to manual effort. So here you have much more control or what executable you're going to choose and what executable location, and also if you have any command line argument, you can choose it from here. So these are the primary details which you need to fill in, which we can take it up from the application shortcut. So for example,
Okay.
here the target file is C colon program files
Hmm.
winxp.exe. So it has the executable along with it. So you can copy it from here, go to your, so for the first option, we need to provide our executable location. So give it. So it has the complete executable location. Now go to again back to client. So start in location. This is your location where your exe is located. So you can copy this, paste it. And if you want to give an application name, so this will be the a name which will be seen by the user on storefront link or the Citrix web URL. This is for our vision, which we can see it on the application listed on the Studio console.
Mm-hmm.
Click on OK. So you have your application ready. Now, since we are creating the delivery group for the first time, it will ask whether you want to have a desktop assigned to the users. Here you can add it. Click on add, give it a name. So again, you can allow all the users or restrict. It's better you go with the restriction. Click on add, and you need to enable the desktop. If you don't enable it, the user will not be able to see it. So always ensure to check this enabled desktop and click on OK.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have application as well as desktop that is published. Click on next. So
Mm-hmm.
now you have to give the uh, delivery group name.
Mm-hmm.
And click on finish. Let's wait for a few minutes. Yeah, it came up. As you can see, it got the name, it got the machine catalog details, and you have the delivery group. It is not in maintenance mode at the moment, but if you could see the power management state, it is unmanaged. The
Mm-hmm.
reason is it is a direct machine as per the Citrix concern. It may be a physical or virtual machine. That's a different story. But if it's not coming via the hosting option, then it will consider as a physical machine only. So you'll not be able to do a power management from here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it'll have the session details because it is registered, and you can see which controller it has taken up. It has taken the first controller. Since our second controller is down, by default, we have while we deployed it on the agent side, we have given both the servers, right? So it checks for it checks for which server is available. It'll try to connect up, and it'll go to that particular delivery controller. Since we have only one delivery controller in place, it connected to the first one. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and from the power management perspective, you will be able to power manage. If you see right click, you can see only log off, delete, and manage tags. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You will not be able to see restart, force restart, shutdown, force shutdown. Those options will not be. We will not be able to see it. That will come into picture once we have a hosting in place, hosting connection in place, and we have the VM running from the hosting controller. That is your hypervisor. It could be
Mm-hmm.
VMware, Nutanix, AWS, GCP, or Azure, or hypervisor, Microsoft Hyper-V, whatever it is.
Mm. Okay.
Okay. So now the next part is to test the connection. So I'll connect the storefront server. Okay, so this is the first page where it asks to detect the workspace. This is the
Mm-hmm.
Citrix client which is required to connect to the environment. At present, we don't have. So
Mm-hmm.
click on I agree. Got already installed. So we'll have two tabs. One's for application, WinSCP, which we have
Mm.
published, and one for desktop for Wave 2022.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So if we try to launch the application, see what will happen. You could see an ICA file is getting generated, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a file which need to convert it and get connected to your environment. So the conversion will be done by your Citrix client. Right now we don't
Mm.
have the Citrix client, so that's the reason it is not able to open up. So
Mm-hmm.
just want to see what information it has.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the settings, and you could see the address.
Mm.
It
Okay,
gives the
okay.
server address. So if you would
Mm-hmm.
like to CMD, King hyphen A. See, it is giving your
Mm-hmm.
server name. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The reason it
Mm-hmm.
gives directly the server name because we are connecting from the internal network, so it knows the server because it's part of the network, right? But if you
Mm.
tried the same ICA file when you have a Netscaler or FI load balancer and from the internet over the internet, if you try, the IP address will be for your Netscaler. Okay, it will not be
Mm.
directly to your server. Okay, and list of the port which is going to get connected is 1494 and session reliability is 2598. I got it.
Yep.
So
Yep.
this is what the ICA file will have the information. It'll have the information
Mm-hmm.
about the server, which it's going to connect it, and the respective port
Mm-hmm.
numbers. There are other parameters which you will not be
Yep.
using it on a daily basis. This will come into picture when you try to troubleshoot. But right now, on most of the environment, they don't use the ICA file. They'll go with the Citrix Workspace client and they'll connect it. So this is for your information. What the ICA file have and what kind of information you can fetch it from there.
Sorry.
Okay, and it's also got the title name also. You could see in SCP what we have
Mm-hmm.
given it for the end users.
Sorry.
Okay, so it'll have all the information which is required to connect to the environment and launch the application.
Okay.
Okay, so right now, since we don't have the workspace in place, it doesn't launch. Even if you try to launch, it'll ask for the respective application which is required to launch it. So report
Mm-hmm.
cancel. We'll go to sorry. So the ISO will have a default receiver application which you can
Mm-hmm.
download, which you can install it. If it is not there, you can again go to internet and download the Citrix receiver.
Mm.
So you can download it from the citrix.com. So it's just a free download. So you can
Yep.
download it and install it.
Okay.
So we'll install the app here. Okay, it says unable to another installation. Okay. In the meantime, I'm creating one more user account just for testing.
Mm-hmm.
So right now we've given access to one user. So what
Mm-hmm.
happens to the other user if they try to launch?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it is installed successfully.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'll click on I agree, already installed. I'm trying with the secondary ID, which we have not given access.
Okay.
So if they try to log in, you see, they will not be able to see anything.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what the page they'll get it. So this is a basic level of troubleshooting. Like whenever a new user joins the environment, they want to have access to the Citrix. The
Mm-hmm.
colleague might be giving the Citrix link, but when they try to log in, it will not log in. The authentication will
Mm-hmm.
take place because the user is part of the domain and a part of Active Directory. So the user account will work fine, but we have not given access to the end users on the Citrix. So user will be able
Okay.
to connect to the portal, but user will not be able to see any application
Mm-hmm.
or a desktop published to them.
Okay, got it.
Now we are connecting back as an administrator. We'll be able to see the application as well as the desktop.
Mm.
So you could see the application on the desktop. So we'll try to launch a desktop. So now we will be able to connect to the environment because we have the
Mm-hmm.
workspace in place or the Citrix client in place.
Okay. But this is a one-to-one relationship because we don't like if we have two users who want their own machine, we will have to create one.
No, since we have installed Windows 2022, the server operating system, it supports
Mm-hmm.
multi-user environment. But in
Oh,
real-time scenario, you need to have the RDS CAL license in place. But since this is a trial version, the license will work. So we'll try to launch two user sessions. That will connect. That
mm,
will not have any impact.
oh, got it.
So now the ICA file is converted because of the Citrix Workspace app which we have.
Mm-hmm.
Click on Connection Center. It will show the server name,
Mm-hmm.
and if you click on Properties, which user is connected and what is the client version which we are using, session reliability enabled. So all this information you can get it from here.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to log off once the session is loaded, you can click on log off from here. Oh, sorry. Since this is physical machine, we will not be able to do a log off from here, but we can click on a disconnect. But from the console end, we can do that.
Got it.
Click on search. You could see both the sessions.
Mm.
One I
Okay.
have connected as an RDP and one as an
Mm-hmm.
ICA session. So that's the reason you are getting the brokering time here. You don't find the brokering time because it is connected via RDP. If I close this one, so this session it got logged off. But if you could see, this is still enabled.
Mm.
This is connected via IC. So it's gone. Okay, now we have given, we'll give access to the other user. So first we'll go to delivery group. So this is the application properties. Go to limit visibility. So right now you could see this application is for the entire delivery group. So user who are part of the delivery group will have access. That is,
Mm.
if you click on this, go to edit delivery groups. So this users will have access to desktop as well as applications. Okay. If in case
Mm.
you're providing access on only to the particular application, not on the desktop level, then user will not be able to see the applications. Okay. So it's
Mm.
better you give the access on delivery group level as well as on the application level. Or if you give it on delivery group level, then the user will automatically able to use the application.
Mm. Mm.
So now We have other user in place. It's done. So already we have one desktop connected.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can see user got the
Mm.
application.
Got it.
Okay, now try to launch it. Okay, so lab administrator is already there. Uh, You could see two sessions now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Since we have deployed the multi-operating system OS, so it can accommodate
Mm-hmm.
multiple users. In real-time scenario or in production environment, you need
Mm-hmm.
to have the RDS license in place to support multi-users. By default, a server will support two users, right? But if you want to have more than,
Yeah.
then you need to purchase the RDS CAL license and deploy it.
Got it.
Okay. So right now, yeah, the application got launched successfully. And you can log the session from here. Now the session is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is basic on how you create an application, how you deploy the application. So there is one
Mm-hmm.
more option which we will try to see is choose the delivery group. So the command line parameter, how it is used. Okay. So for this
Okay.
one, we'll take a so this is our default location. This is our browser. Okay, so I'll give the working directory. So if we give as it is, it'll just open up an Edge browser. Okay, but we want
Mm-hmm.
the Edge browser to connect to always to yahoo.com.
Okay.
Then this command line parameter will pitch in, like it will launch the exe and look for the argument. So it should launch only yahoo.com. So click on OK.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give. So this command line parameter will come into picture, like if you have any customized application and if you want to run any PowerShell script that need to point out some command line argument or a bad file. So this will come into picture in those scenarios. Mostly it will be a customized application. Default application it's not required. For customized application, you need to have it. For Lotus Notes, for example, for certain users, this profile path should pitch in. For some user, this profile path should come into picture. Then you can give the command line parameter here.
Got it.
And there are certain Java-based link like that
Mm-hmm.
requires to open up the URL directly. So in that scenario, you
Mm-hmm.
can give the MSH or Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, or Google Chrome. You can publish it and give the URL. Once the URL is published, whenever user tries
Mm-hmm.
to launch that shortcut, it will directly go
Mm-hmm.
to the respective URL.
Mm.
System is very slow to respond.
Do you in your production run scripts or create like let's say you have to create 10 users or 50 users
Mhm.
um, from AD group? Do you have anything like that? Oh yeah, we did talk about that, right? You have something like that,
Yeah.
custom script. Okay.
For me, the custom script that is for Citrix environment where you can
Okay,
monitor
got
your Citrix infrastructure, your PBS, and your
it.
cloud connector, and your PDA
Okay.
registration state. Okay. So if we try to
Okay.
launch Yahoo, it should automatically the URL should point out to Yahoo.
Okay.
Right now it doesn't. I mean, the client doesn't have the internet connection, but you could see the URL it's got changed to Yahoo. So that's where the
Mm-hmm.
command line parameter will come into picture. Not just
Mm-hmm.
launching the exe, and if you have any
Mm-hmm.
parameters that need to be
Mm-hmm.
added up, you can use that option, and once you use it, it will commit. So it will first check for the exe, then check for the command line parameter, and then launch the application.
Got it.
Okay, so you have 5 minutes time extra, like we can deploy the
Yeah,
Zen
yeah, yeah,
server.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, just shut down the cache for now. Close this one. So I've taken up. So I've downloaded this version.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's a trial version where you'll have 90 days of license in place, so you can
Mm-hmm.
test it and use it.
Okay.
Download option. Zenserver.download.com. So here you'll have a list of ISOs. So
Mm-hmm.
I've taken the Zen Server 8. This the first one. You can use the same
Okay.
URL. I'll just keep it on chat.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, and also I've installed. I mean, I've taken up the VM tools. Okay,
Okay.
so those
Got it.
will,
Yeah.
yeah. So both the downloaded. I mean, ISO and the VM tools. I've downloaded it. So the reason I've chosen a Zen server because the server is limited with RAM, so I'll not be able to run the VMware hypervisor because it's need to have the vCenter. A vCenter will take up
Mm,
most of resource on the memory part. So that's the reason I'm going with
got it.
Zen server because it doesn't require any special add-on because on the Zen server itself you can run everything and you can connect to your environment.
Okay. Got it.
So I've chosen compatibility as VXX server because this is an hypervisor within a hypervisor. So I've chosen ESX.
Mm-hmm.
So here choose VMware ESX. Click on next. So by default it will take 4 GB. If you want you can increase it,
Mm-hmm.
but for installation we'll go ahead with this one.
Okay.
So I will choose the Zen 08, which I have downloaded it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So choose install. Click enter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a basic installation. It's not a complicated one.
Okay.
So we have for VMware, this is also a Linux-based underlying operating system for this one. So here we'll choose the language.
Mm-hmm.
Use the keyboard. The mouse will not work on this console.
Mm-hmm.
And then load driver. Yes. So accept the license part. So the hard disk gets 142 GB. Click on yes.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the drive we are going to deploy our Zen server. Click on OK.
Mm-hmm.
Enable thin provisioning. Yeah, I would advise to enable this because this will help in for MCS and PVS imaging. So we'll enable it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not mandate like
Okay.
that you need to enable it, but for our environment, it's better to do it.
Okay.
And this is local media where I'm using the ISO. So you can skip the verification because it will take time. And here you give the password to your Zen server.
Okay.
You can assign a static IP here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm giving the same IP range which I use it for my lab. That is 10.0.0.10 and subnet. VLAN we
Mm-hmm.
not created anything. We have not. And this is the host name. So we'll keep it as
Mm-hmm.
Zen server. And DNS name that is our domain that is 10.10. We don't have other DNS servers. So click on OK. And region you can choose based on your requirement.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll choose this is a time zone.
Mm-hmm.
So NTP servers to provide the time. So right now we don't have anything in our environment. So click OK and we'll give
Mm-hmm.
the manual time entry. It will take up the host time entry.
Mm-hmm.
So if that matches you, yeah, you can click OK and install Zen server. It'll just take few minutes to connect.
Okay.